Why, oh, why am I sitting here sweating with my door open? Stand by a minute, I'll tell you why. Hey everybody, it's Eric, and I'm sitting here with my door open sweating because I just showed up for an inspection. A house inspection for a new buyer. And they show up, and we ring the doorbell, and the owner shows up, shirtless, all tatted up. And he goes, "Who are you?" So I'm going like, "We're here for the inspection. I'm the agent. This is the buyer. And there's the inspector." And he's like, "I was only expecting the inspector." He goes, the house has been inspected twice before, and each time only the inspector showed up. So basically, he didn't let me or the buyer in the house. He let the inspector in, but not me or the buyer. Oh no! Okay, you're selling your house. You want the most money possible, and you're not letting the buyer in. You're already setting that buyer off to go like, "What's wrong with your dang house?" Think about it. It's like that meme. Think. And it just brought up something we kept asking. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've never heard of the agent showing up to an inspection. An inspector, yes, but the agent. And I went, "That's because I do my job. I'm not lazy." And he says again, it's like, "Well, it's because they were lazy." That's what I told him. And I've just seen this too much where the agents don't show up to anything. And I don't want to call them lazy. They're just utilizing their time because all you're really doing is sitting there. There's really nothing you're doing. I ain't gonna lie. They ain't being lazy. They're just, why? You're sitting there for 2, 3, 4 hours doing nothing. I'm sitting there, I ask a lot of questions. You've seen some of the videos where I go in with the inspector, and that's why it's actually like education for me. I used to like to show up for appraisals because I can ask the appraiser some questions. Some appraisers appreciate that, some don't. But some like to give you an education. And if I'm gonna be educated in something like what's going on with housing, it kind of makes sense, because that's when I can answer all those questions that you people have, because I got to see it multiple times instead of going, I'm out looking for more money by chasing down clients. Same thing for like we go to other things. Like I remember one time, that had this client. She was actually German. It's really cool. That gets into a really interesting story. I don't even know if I want to tell it any time, but no, there's nothing untoward about it. It just gets into an interesting story. So we go to the signing for when she bought the house, and we're sitting there, we're waiting, and I'm talking to the receptionist at the title company, and she goes, "Wow, it's amazing to see a realtor here." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Hold on, car's about to pass by. Well, she goes, "Well, most realtors don't show up." I'm like, "Really?" So I was like, "No, very few realtors show up anymore. They usually just don't anymore. They just send the clients here, have them sign, and we don't see realtors much anymore." I'm like, "Really?" But clients always have questions when I show up. And it's like, yeah, they probably do, but just realtors don't show up anymore. And it just blew me away. And ever since our little crisis here started, a lot of title companies have asked us not to show up, to minimize the number of people. And I even have clients ask, will I be showing up? And it's like, I got to go find out if I can show up or not, because it's like, according to the time of the day, what's going on, what the rules are this day or not, and I have to check. And the times I cannot show up, I actually feel guilty about it. And it's just like not enough of that anymore. It's like none of that customer service. And something that we really has gotten away from. The entire purpose that we're being paid for isn't just helping you sell a house or helping you buy a house, all this stuff. And I think this is what gives us bad reputation as real estate agents. Everybody's out there chasing money and nobody's out there trying to service anybody. It's all, I was thinking about this morning. I did another rant. It seems like all these videos are becoming rants, man. It's either trying to teach you guys something or a little bit of a rant, and hopefully the rant's kind of teaching you. It's all this real estate education. None of it is about helping you buy a house or sell a house or anything. It's all about getting more business. Isn't the purpose of being the real estate agent to help you sell your house or to help you buy a house better? To educate you on those things? And you look at these scripts, like when these real estate agents call you up, like if for whatever, and it's always the same sounding stuff from these big real estate coaching companies. When are you searching for the right agent? The gestures, you have to stand and project this way and all this stuff. It's like, man, come on, what about this? What's the best way to market that person's house? Or they come in my 150 point sales plan, my 89 point sales system, all this stuff, my VIP buyer system. They know it's all bunk, and to make you think, oh, I'm getting into the VIP buyer system. Here's the VIP buyer system. We're gonna show you the best houses that are available. Bam! You got that? You're a VIP. Here's my seller system. Price your house right, take the best pictures possible, do the stuff that people are actually looking at. Right now they're looking at good pictures, drone photos, the Matterport 3D tours. Oh yeah, that's what they're looking at. So priced right, photos, all this other stuff, no one's looking at that stuff. When you go look at a house, are you looking at a luxury magazine? Nah. You're not looking for it. No. You're going on to Zillow, and now Zillow has the 3D tour button. You're clicking on that. So remember, you don't have to use me for a real estate agent. Use your own real estate agent if you got one. Ain't trying to steal somebody away. Ain't trying to steal you away from your agent. If they're listing your house, you're paying them money. MONEY. Like what was that? Wu-Tang Clan. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. If you're paying somebody money, they should be doing some kind of a job for you. It's not just sticking a sign in the yard and taking their 6%, which hopefully they're dividing equally with the buyer's agent, instead of taking lately, like I've seen a lot of them doing, putting 3.5% in their pocket and giving 2.5% to the other side because we have a housing shortage right now, and they know the house is going to sell in a weekend if it's priced right. Hey, it's your pricing strategy. It's those photos, because people love photos. I've talked about this before, where people are all excited to go out and see a house because of the photos. I'm going to show 2 houses this afternoon, right after this. And I would call it inspection. I'm sitting in my car. Dude, it's the photos. For all we know, it's going to go there and it's going to be one of these like, okay, the photos are great, but the house, yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. So we'll find out in a minute, or in an hour of sitting here sweating. We'll see. And like I said, those Matterport tours, they work. Drone photos, they work. That's the stuff that works. Nobody's looking in the newspaper. Okay, older people look in the newspaper. Facebook ads actually kind of work a little bit, but to be honest, it's kind of like open houses. They sell other things. On the buy side, I told you what to do for buying. Look real close again at those pictures. All the flaws. Every time somebody said they didn't like something, when I went back and I looked at the pictures those flaws were there. They really weren't covered up. They were there. They just didn't look at them. They looked at one thing and they got channel locked on that one thing. And so they loved that. There was something about that house they loved, and they got channel locked on that thing, and they just kept focusing on that one thing. And then they ignored everything else until they got to the house, and then they started noticing the other things that were wrong. Once you get channel locked on that thing, walk away. Don't just favorite it and then waste your day, your hour going over there. Go back to that picture. I'm sorry, that house, and look at those pictures again. If they have a 3D tour, Matterport, or any other 3D tour, look through it. I guarantee you, because it is too hard to hide anything in the Matterports. Yes, it can be done, but it's too expensive. There's only like one company I know of, Box Brownie, that can go in and kind of enhance those photos. So there's really, technically, you can Photoshop it. Technically, it's like The Simpsons, that episode of The Simpsons where he goes, well, Marge, communism works in theory. In theory. Yeah, it's too much work right now. So nobody does it now. So, and at a point where no one does it now is a good point to see all of the pimples in a house when there's Matterport. And that's usually why you only see the Matterport on the truly spectacular houses. So if they've done a Matterport or any kind of a 3D tour, usually, especially a Matterport, because they've got to spend money on it, then you've got a spectacular house. Another little tip for you. The Zillow usually can be a decent house, because I'm telling you a little secret, folks. Real estate agents are cheap. 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 Like I have the Theta Z1. So that's like $1,000 to $1,200 camera. I say $1,000, $1,200. The retail price is $1,000. It actually usually sells over retail because they can't make them fast enough, because the professional photographers are buying them because they're so good. Most real estate agents, if they're going to invest, are not going to invest in the Z1. They're going to invest in the V or the SC2, the cheaper cameras, if they're going to invest. If they're not, they're going to borrow one from somebody else. And even some of the professional photographers out there are going cheaper because most people aren't going to notice the difference. I don't know, I spend money on the stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that, you know, I got other sources of income. So for real estate, I can spend my commissions on, you know, crap like that. And I do call it crap. May as well spend it on that, or else my wife will take the money and spend it on something else, you know. For those of you who are married, guys, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's what I'm just saying. It's easy to get that stuff done. And if you're paying somebody to do something, look, another car coming, and he is barreling, or she. This stuff can be done easy, man. And no, I'm just talking to you folks, like adults. I know I'm not following the YouTube algorithm of what I'm supposed to be doing as a real estate agent, putting stuff out on YouTube. Eventually, I can't spend hours doing this, editing videos, and I got to do it the YouTube way. I know that. But at least I'm going to go out in style, rant a little bit, talk about what's going on, give you the straight dope, and it's kind of like politics. One day you got to sell out and do it the way the man wants you to do it. That'll happen. You know, maybe, you know, I know I have some people who are very loyal. I mean, they actually talk to me, they call me even, and I actually appreciate that. That means some people, I am reaching some folks, and for those folks, I really appreciate it. And you know who you are, and I appreciate it. And we've actually had discussions about this when I talk about the videos that I put out, that I'm talking from my heart. And when I do these. I'm not just doing it from some algorithm and everything, you know, because some people like come on YouTube, they do this niche thing and they do that to get the views so they can then advertise to their channel. Like I was telling one person, as we were standing in the driveway, at this point, I don't plan on ever monetizing my channel, because you know what? Those commercials bug the living crap out of me. So I know they bug you. So at this point, I'm not planning on doing that. Right now, I'm putting out YouTube videos to, one, give me a little something to do. All this driving around right now, I don't have anything else to do. That's why I started doing them here, because I was always on the road and I don't have time to do them where I want to do them. I don't have time to do them in front of a green screen like I planned to. So this is it for a minute. I'm probably gonna, like I said, probably gonna have to start doing it with the algorithm, because I can't waste several hours a week, because between shooting them, reshooting them, getting phone calls in between and having to reshoot stuff, the editing, it's like 10, 20 hours a week. I just can't do that and you know, sit around and get 20 views. I got to actually grow the channel. So this may be one of the, it's not the last one, it may be one of the last few, because I got to get into actually following the algorithm. Man, I hate selling out. I don't want to be a sellout. It's like going into politics. All politicians are sellouts. So anyway, maybe if everyone will like and comment on the channel and do all that cool stuff, I don't have to sell out and I can keep telling you guys the truth that nobody wants to hear, unfortunately. So, but hey, see you guys next week. Like I said, I've been faithful so far, putting them videos out every week. See you guys later, man. Okay, I had to come back for this one, second part, same video. Just finished the inspection. Stepped out, stood outside for a minute, met one of the neighbors, cool guy, drove up, was wondering why I was standing outside the house under his tree, kind of like next door. Explained to him what was going on, kind of elbow bumped, and I was like, hey man. Then he even offered me some water, got cool with it. So, you know, talked a little bit, and then the inspector came out, because I was telling this guy, like, I'm not running away. Inspector was like, you know, after 4,000 inspections, that was the rudest he had ever seen anybody treat a potential buyer of their house. We're gonna get it by that. So anyway, we're going over, he's going over some of the stuff he found in the house and everything. When we went under contract, they sent in like this sheet to send to the appraiser about all of these great upgrades. Inspector's going through these upgrades, it's like there wasn't anything special. Claiming that they were brand new AC units. AC units are over 4 years old. And I've said this before. If I haven't, I'm going to tell you right now. There are certain things that are required in a house. And I'm going to make a separate video and get longer on this. Certain things that are required in a house that when you add them, it doesn't necessarily increase the value of your house. You are required to have a roof on a house. So if you put a new roof on a house, just because you spent $10,000 on the house, you did not increase the value of your house by $10,000. You may have increased it by 0, because you have to have a roof on your house. You put new ACs in, you may have increased your value by 0, because you have to have air conditioning. We live in a hot desert. Anyway, he actually sent in a sheet talking about all the stuff that he'd done to the house, and what the number one thing was the new AC units that the inspector just told me was almost 5 years old. This house ain't going to appraise, so this deal is almost done. Fortunately, I didn't cover my rear end, especially with the way he treated my buyer. So let's see if this deal even survives the morning, because there's all kinds of little stuff he done found that may have already tanked this deal. Stand by, we'll find out later.